we're inundated with negative news. And this is in no way an attempt to minimize this global crisis, a crisis of unprecedented proportion. But I want to give you some ideas on how to get off a negative loop if you find yourself caught in one, or how to get onto a more productive, positive trajectory if you find that you're derailing and constantly in a negative loop. And basically, it's how to adopt a more positive, if you don't like the word positive, maybe a mindset that's more nourishing to your soul and to your health. So this is basically giving you some ideas on how to get off a negative loop, whether it's temporary one because you've come across or faced a problem, how to get off the negative loop because we're inundated with so much negative news, and finally, how to adopt a more positive mindset. So the first thing I think is decide that you want to do that. Decide. So it's like you're on a train, and this is what I call the negative train. You're on this train, and you find you're on this trajectory, and you want to get off the train. So it's like as if I'm on a train to Russia, and I say, no, I don't, and I catch myself, and I'm thinking, I find out I'm on this train, but that's not where I want to go. So it's deciding to stop and just say, I'm getting off this train. So you've got to make that decision, a conscious decision. I do want to get off that train. I'm going on the train heading to San Diego. Now, for those of you listening in who are from Russia, please don't take this personally. It's just an example. But let's say you're on a train going somewhere you don't want to. Just get off that and head to another train that gets you to where you want to be. So that's number one, is to decide. Decide you want to do that. Secondly is be so grounded in gratitude. And I always say how you start the day sets the tone for the rest of the day. So be grounded in gratitude. No time like the morning, first thing in the morning, being so thankful for things you have, people you have in your life, for your health. Just be thankful. There's so much to be thankful for. So to get off a negative loop or to get onto a more positive mindset, be grounded in gratitude. So if you find yourself on a negative loop, right away, stop. Think of 3 things you can be so thankful for. And science repeatedly shows that doing this consistently does alter the chemistry in your brain, and it does rewire the physiology of your brain. So it does work. Being grateful, appreciating all the things that are going right in your life brings more of that into your life. So that's be grounded in gratitude. Decide you want to change. Third thing is be aware of the people you're hanging out with. I don't particularly like hanging out with negative people for too long. Misery loves company. It's one thing to express empathy with the situation around you, but if you hear the conversation always going to the worst possible scenario or always negative, you really are the 5 people you spend the most time with, whether it's online or people you're living with, whatever it is. You become like the average of the 5 people you spend. You become the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. If you are spending time with negative people, decide whether it's worth your mental health and change your friends. I find it's way better to spend time alone in solitude than to be with negative people. So change your friends. The next thing that you can do if you find yourself on a negative loop or a negative trajectory, or if you want to change to a positive mindset, is move. Decide to move. Movement literally, again, changes your physiology, breaks you from that trajectory. So like the analogy of the train, it's moving, like pulling the buzzer or whatever, it's stopping the train. Movement does break that trajectory, and it can help. So move, whether it's knitting or whether it's going for a walk. For me, I like to dance. Whatever it is, move, write, whatever it is, do something that requires movement. I like dancing, and the one thing is that not only is it taking me off the negative loop, it's also improved some of my dance steps over time. So movement is really happy. Take a shower, whatever it is, move. And then the next point is go in nature. Nature is a natural healer. That's my real firm belief. Nature heals. Go in nature. I live right across the ocean. Go in nature. Spend some time. If you're not allowed to during this time of quarantine, then move, or else let nature come to you. Look at things on the computer, showing you some natural, beautiful sights. There's so much out there for you. And the next thing is, nature is so important. Practice presence. All we really have is the present moment. Nothing else is guaranteed. Practice presence. Be present. And you'll find when you're present and you feel your presence, you can't possibly be negative. And finally, make some plans for the future. What this does is, it's saying you're getting off the negative loop. Now you're making plans for the future. So what you're doing is setting a positive tone for the future. So I think, if you're negative, we all have periods where we cannot help but see some things in a negative light, or feel this real downward feeling, or something happens to you and you're like, oh my God. But don't stay in there for too long, because it starts to long enough and it starts to define you. And then, I'm not sure, maybe you don't want energy is contagious. You don't want to spread that negativity around us when there's already so much of that out there. So those are just some ideas on how to get off a negative loop and create a more positive mindset for yourself, that if done consistently on a daily basis might actually change your physiology, change the chemistry in your brain, and change your life.